Hey everybody, welcome back to Dinner and a Show. I'm Brian.
And this lighting is not very good. I'm Tanner. How you doing?
Makes us look like we're in a horror movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tanner is back from Missouri for a little bit. He's actually leaving very soon. But while he was here, we decided, hey, let's go watch a movie together. And we decided to watch a very stereotypical 90s movie. It's a very dated film, but a lot of people like it.
It's a film that's been a part of my childhood, and I think, I loved it as a kid. I think as I got older and became more critic-like, I thought I wasn't supposed to like it, so I gave it kind of a mixed review. But then, the Blu-ray came around, had a whole bunch of bonus features on it, a lot of great material. Any Blu-ray that gets me that excited for so much bonus features surrounding, the film,
you gotta give the movie some credit.
That does not deserve a mixed review. I wrote a mixed review for my blog a long time ago, and then recently I revised my review, gave it 3.5 stars out of 4. And yeah, I just okay, this is not a perfect film. It's not a great film.
What is the film by any chance?
All right.
I don't think we mentioned the title yet.
Right. Okay, so the film is called Heavyweights. It was released in 1995. It was a Disney film. Many of the creators of the Mighty Ducks, and is also one of the first writing credits of Judd Apatow, who went on to become a big name in mainstream comedy with 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up.
Yep.
Also a great producer for Superbad and Pineapple Express, The Big Sick, a few other films. And it's mainly this is a PG-rated film about
yes, it is a PG-rated film.
It takes place at a fat camp called Camp Hope, and the campers there are these adolescents, these pudgy adolescents who are not very serious about losing weight.
No, they're just there to have fun and just kind of
Right.
enjoy the however many weeks they're there.
Right. The whole mission statement of the camp is to lose weight while having fun. They have all these activities for them, and they're all great friends. They love playing together, hanging out together. But before the first day of camp is even over, they find out that the camp is under new management. And it turns out to be
Ben Stiller.
Yes, he plays Tony Perkis. He is this self-appointed fitness guru who is mainly just using the camp to make a quick buck with an infomercial that he hopes will sell. He is going to make these kids lose weight
in
one way
12
or another.
weeks, I think. And it was it was a very insane, and I guess you could call it cruel and just unfun, manner. And so of course Gerald is
the kids fight back.
He gets the kids together and they try to fight back
The main
for their
character
camp.
Jerry helps the kids.
Yeah,
fight back.
and to so that they can have fun in their camp again. And
in the process they learn to
be responsible,
and they learn self-respect,
self-control.
and of course in the end it ends with the big sports match where they go up against the jocks from the cool camp, and they will learn to beat them on their terms and learn respect for themselves. They will overcome the odds.
Yep.
And
And that pudgy kids can also get women because of that one dance scene.
Okay, let's get to the negatives of this film before I go into the positives. There are quite a lot of fat jokes. Some of them are a little
the
bit in
humor
bad
of
taste.
this movie is definitely reliant on stereotypical fat jokes.
Yeah.
And just fat personality quirks, I guess, in Hollywood. It's like they're always eating a Twinkie, trying to hide food in the camp dorms,
Yeah.
Sneaking in to get a burger. And then there's a whole sequence, it's like a whole night of just pigging out on in the nastiest way possible.
Right, the food orgy that sort of shot like Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, they're terrible at sports. They're, it's just a whole bunch of,
It does
stuff
reinforce
like that.
certain stereotypes.
Yeah, so I mean, for that it was just it was okay, it's starting to become a one note, kind of deal. I mean, but they expand on it. They finally get to the point, it's like, hey, self-control, self-respect, in the last 20 minutes of the film.
And this Tony Perkis character is not the person who teaches them self-respect, and I guess that would also be somewhat of a negative because while it is sharp and the satire of going after these highly motivated infomercial types, and this guy is clearly speaking from other motivational speakers that he's been studying and doesn't have much of his own. I guess you can sort of see a problem as that like none of the kids get seriously hurt by this system. It's just more of an inconvenience to them, and so in a way,
like
that sort of makes the kids the problem, if you really think.
Yeah, I was kind of on Tony's side. It's like, yeah, these kids are really unhealthy. They need to, live a healthier lifestyle. But I think how the film justifies it is that Tony is
kind of a jerk.
Well, he's a jerk, and then he's also using it for his financial gain. Yeah. So I think that was the film's justification for why Tony was a jerk. But overall, it's like, it's not a bad thing to try and get the kids into shape. And I just thought, since the kids were at a young enough age, where like more discipline is kind of necessary.
Kids are like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, just for kids to become, just more responsible with themselves. I mean, there's no way that if you wanted them to behave, that just being less lenient on them was going to help. So like, so if a fat camp was supposed to make you lose weight, then I think Tony, sure, he could have handled it better.
I think it is something that the kids do learn. Like when they finally get their freedom, they've overcome the bully, and they decide to have this big night of like eating all this food.
Yeah, and they don't lose. I think any weight really by the end of their camp.
No,
but I mean I think what the film wanted to do is that they have self-respect for themselves. They. And I guess they, like we've said, self-control of how much they eat and everything like that. Granted, I think it would have been more impactful if they actually saw, some weight loss differences, but I don't know how outside of the film, like behind the scenes, like how they were going to get the kids to, lose a lot of weight between. So I think that was just unfair. So they kind of
that is a lot to
ask for on a kid. So I think they just kind of left that out.
I think that was the same reason why they didn't cast an overweight actor to play Stanley in Holes, because in the book Stanley is fat, and you can't really ask like a young actor to like gain weight and then lose it.
Yeah, because I don't think it was. I mean, they're still growing, so it's just kind of really unhealthy to do that. I probably would have thought a fat suit could have been appropriate, but I don't know how expensive fat suits are and how realistic that would have looked back in the 90s.
You'd also save time also by not having having the makeup too.
Yeah, so it's just that's just something that you'll notice, but I think that for me, like back to Ben Stiller, I think it was the film doesn't let you be on his side completely, but there's a lot of good reasoning behind. It's like, hey, you need to lose some weight, kids, and you're gonna get your candy taken away. Sorry, that's life.
And the guy is clearly going through some issues. There are a few subtle lines of dialogue that like reflect on his childhood, where apparently he was fat and his father like didn't like respect him much, and so like he had to learn how to respect himself and lose weight, and now he wants to sort of give back to like all these other kids, like the same things that he was taught.
Yeah, and I think also it's like the kids didn't really want to lose weight, and I know like for those like me personally, I'm trying to lose some weight, and it's like you have to want that, and I think the kids didn't really want to. It's like they wanted to just eat what they wanted.
They just wanted to have fun, really.
Yeah, and I guess there's a balance to that, obviously, but forcing kids to do what they don't want to do is not going to help your cause. So sorry, Tony.
But
other
talk about the more positive aspects of the movie.
All of the characters were likable.
Yeah, the kids are great comic actors.
Even Tony was likable.
Yeah.
He was the best.
Some of these kids were in the Mighty Ducks. Let's see, there's Aaron Schwartz and Sean Weiss, who played Jerry and Josh. They were in the Mighty Ducks.
Yep.
Kenan Thompson was in Mighty Ducks too. Let's see.
Yeah, he played Roy, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was great. So it was great seeing some characters like, oh my gosh, that's what they looked like when they were young, and now they're like, so like Kenan's in Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah. And there's also Paul Feig plays a counselor named Tim, and he went on to become a successful director, directing Bridesmaids and The Heat and the recent Ghostbusters.
That's surprising, yeah.
Yeah. There's Tom McGowan, who was probably best known for his TV show appearances at the time. Like in the 90s, he was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, he was in Everybody Loves Raymond, but I've always known him as Pat because I've watched this movie so many times in my childhood.
Yeah.
I kid you not. It was my introduction to Ben Stiller. So
It was pretty cool. And his
and
dad
let's
was
talk
in there
about-
too. Ben Stiller's dad was in there, right?
yeah, and his mom, and Mira and Jerry Stiller, they play the former.
The former camp owners.
Right. Now let's talk about Ben Stiller. He is. Oh my gosh. I think Ben Stiller is probably ashamed of this movie in some way because like I think he insisted like not to be shown on any promotional material, like on the poster. He's not on the
Aw.
poster.
That's sad because I wondered why he
he's just
wasn't in the
hilarious.
behind the scenes stuff, but he was. Yeah, he was
is
the
just
best.
hilarious. He picks this
best thing
this
in the
persona
movie.
of like being very motivated. He's got this crazy hair. He speaks sort of like Wayne from Wayne's World, a bit of a Fonzie, and like much original talent. And then you also have Tom Hodges as Lars, the counselor, who is sort of this like big bulky Schwarzenegger foreign type. You don't know where he's from. He just says he's from far away. Like, both those two are just a riot. I could watch a whole movie about these two.
They are hilarious. So, even though Tony's a jerk to the kids, it's funny.
He's one of the funnier bullies I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah,
He's right
especially,
up there with Christopher McDonald and Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, especially one of the camp counselors. Yeah, the foreign Schwarzenegger dude. He was like great.
Silence!
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was cracking me up a whole lot.
Get down!
Buddy!
Buddy!
Buddy! So, it was. They had some really great points in there. I'm trying to think what else there was that was a lot of fun. I mean, they did have some funny jokes.
There were many quotable lines of dialogue.
Keenan was
most of
cracking
which
me
were-
up because
Yeah.
I think I told you this when the dude does say far away.
Oh, right.
There's a shot
He's got
of
this
him
catch that's
reacting.
sort of like a hiccup and a laugh. I think they cut just before he's about to like really crack up.
Yeah, I think that was just the best take they could get because he was. It looked like he was about to crack up in the middle of the take, and they just like, all right, we're gonna cut this because he couldn't do any other better takes, so we're just gonna get with that. But I rewound that because it was just so funny. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Oh, how about the part where
Same guy, Keenan.
they just broke into Tony Perkins' house and they're getting away, and for no reason at all, Keenan just like stops and like does a little roll on the ground and gets
Yeah.
right back up
He
while
just-
everyone else is
he
running
just
away.
stops.
What's the point of that? I don't know.
So I think it was those two things that got Keenan his future career.
Yeah, because like just after this movie was released, he got onto all that, and then that got to Keenan and Kel, and then just a few years later, SNL.
Yeah, and he's been doing that for a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah,
So
it's about a decade.
So yeah, this film kind of helps you look at people's earlier careers, and it's a lot of fun. This is a darker Disney film in terms of just like humor and maturity.
It's edgier. I think Judd Apatow's script might have had something to do with that. It definitely wasn't director, co-writer Stephen Brill's edge because he was best known for like doing the Mighty Ducks. And I actually rewatched Mighty Ducks after I rewatched this film after I bought the Blu-ray. That one doesn't hold up nearly as much as Heavyweights.
Yeah, this
It's really watered down. It's more cliched, and there's not enough to make you forget those cliches because like there are cliches in Heavyweights.
Yes,
there's
there
a
are.
lot to overcome that. The Mighty Ducks, no, it's more Wonder Bread.
Yeah, like this is definitely like '90s cheese.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong there, but yeah, the whole darker thing in terms of like just maturity and stuff. This is something I probably wouldn't show like maybe like a 5-year-old or something like that.
I think
Maybe.
I started watching this movie when I was 6. I
Yeah.
saw the trailer in front of this
Yeah,
other
you watched
Disney
a lot of films like very young. Where
and a lot of Disney films too, and like I watched a lot of Disney films at the time. There were a lot of Disney videos. They had a lot of trailers in front of them, and so like if it wasn't Aristocats or Aladdin and the King of Thieves, it was Squanto, it was Tall Tale, it was Heavyweights, and the Heavyweights, of course, had a bunch of kids, so it appealed to me, and so I went to the video store, rented it again, and then bought it, watched it over and
And the rest is history, yeah. I don't think I watched this as a kid, so this is my first time watching it. And I did have fun. This is a movie that I would
Good.
watch with the group. Yeah, I'd probably, like, if I had a kid, I'd probably make sure that they were, I guess,
Son,
mature enough to watch it.
I'm not gonna give you a light. I'm gonna show you the light.
One of Tony's lines.
Yes.
One of his many quotable lines.
I eat success for breakfast with skim milk. Or how about when he's like jogging, he's running through the woods and he's getting his exercise done. All of a sudden, he comes across this log. Come on, you devil log! He lifts it up.
He's jogging around with like.
I'm dogging it, Pat. I'm dogging it.
It's definitely exaggerated and stuff. So this, I don't know why, but Disney live action films, especially family films, liked to do the over exaggeration on stuff. So they do this in spades, especially with Ben Stiller's character. Yeah. But this was more tolerable and bearable because Ben Stiller's energy in the performance and just the kids and stuff. I mean, like I said, all the characters are likable. So all of the cheeseball stuff that Disney did, was fine. Like, it wasn't like really annoying, like Rocket Man, which was extremely annoying. Hate that movie.
I didn't even watch that as a kid.
Don't.
I just saw like the first few minutes and I was like, yeah, I'll watch Heavyweights.
It's insanely stupid. And then I'm sure there's some other Disney live action movies from the 90s where it's just incredibly annoying.
Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas
Yep.
and Chevy Chase.
Yep, that's one of them.
Jungle to Jungle.
Yeah, I'd see that. Wasn't there one with a chimp in a hotel?
Oh, that wasn't Disney. I know what you're talking about, though. It's Dunstan checks in. That was Fox.
Oh, okay.
But then again,
but it's
Fox
it's that same style. Yeah, Disney is now, or Fox is now a part of Disney.
Yeah.
But it's fine. You guys will like this movie. A
lot of people do. It became a cult classic. I think it's the very reason why they had this like great Blu-ray with a ton of bonus material. I mean, we're talking like an hour and a half worth of extended and deleted scenes, a 22-minute vintage featurette featuring like all this like BTS material from like way back when. Where Are They Now, in which they get like a bunch of the kids to like talk about like how the movie like affected their lives years after starring in it. Video chat with Judd Apatow and Kenan Thompson. A lot of great stuff.
Yeah, it is really good stuff, and this kind of just shows that not all films have to be like stellar on the Rotten Tomatoes meter to be popular or to be likable and enjoyable. I'm usually
this wasn't loved by critics back in the day.
Yeah, I usually get targeted or harassed for saying it's like, oh man, this doesn't look so great. Look at the score here, and people are like, who cares? I like the movie. You're being
When
dumb.
I was a kid, there was no mass opinion. There was no like majority of people that saying like this movie is great, this movie sucks. It was just if it looked interesting to you, you just watch it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of my earlier experiences, are the same. But now I'm kind of like not that I have Movie Pass, I don't have to worry so much. But when I went to go to the theaters, not a sponsor, I wish. But now that
I just realized we have no dinner in this video.
Oh no, I forgot my meal.
I'm hungry. The movie made me hungry.
Yeah, but but last year when I did not have a Movie Pass, I wanted to be careful of like what movie I was to spend my money on. Mm-hmm. So I looked at the reviews. It's like, okay, am I going to enjoy this movie or am I going to like hate this movie when I walk out of here? Mm-hmm. And then there are some movies where I'm like, okay, I'm going to review Beauty and the Beast, the movie. If you watched my top 5 least favorite movies of 2017, I watched it so I could have a valid opinion on it. Even though most critics and people seem to love it or enjoy it. But besides the point, film is subjective. You guys can enjoy whatever you want, and I definitely enjoyed Heavyweights, despite its flaws, despite its cliches, and because it was, the characters were fun, and there were a lot of funny situations. So I'm going to give this movie a high 5.
All right, great. I'm going to give it the same thing.
Awesome. So, cool beans and hot tamales. I'm Brian.
I'm Tanner.
And until next time, we'll see you at the movies.